Trigger warning: sexual grooming with cropped suggestive pictures of homemade porn. This post will purposefully only be up for 72 hours and is the only post that I will be making along these lines. And I advise you to not look through the pictures unless you are resolved to know the truth and strong enough to understand why we have no other choice but to publicly call things out in order to stop this madness and to protect innocent people, and for the leaders of the RCW to take ownership and finally deal with Kip McKean publicly in order for no other women to be sexually groomed, manipulated, and stalked, or to have their privacy grossly violated by being used in his homemade porn, or collected like trophies in his thousands of pictures that are filed away in his computer. And yes, Jason Dimitri, you have known this for many months. I have intentionally placed those pictures last so that you will not see them unless you click through all of the pictures. Only the faces are revealed, but by the name of the porn sites, you will be able to deduct what is going on in the cropped out portion of each pic. Kip definitely has a certain fetish, and it is very shocking to grapple with all of this. Michael Kirchner stated that he would personally contact all of the women that are victims of Kip's depraved violation of dignity and privacy. So if that was not just another Kirchner lie, they have all been contacted, but they have still not called out Kip or forced him to admit what he has done. Most of the known girls that Kip has targeted and groomed, he claims are his daughters in the faith, and they in turn view him as a father. I can't imagine any sane father creating porn using his own daughter. So here comes the hard part. The one woman's face that I am showing Karen is because she has been complicit and benefited from Kip's special treatment, higher pay, leadership promotions, and special gifts, etc., including a 50% Malawian kwacha payoff, as he added her into his McKean family trust. Both Kip and Elena signed this trust amendment dated on December 14, 2020, which begs the question, Elena, how did he convince you that it was godly behavior to buy off this woman for 50 Malawian kwacha? You have probably known about 80% of Kip's overall dark and deplorable behavior. Therefore, you must finally take some responsibility here and stop acting like the victim. You alone could have stopped this decades ago. Elena, you have not protected the women or the girls under your care, and the fruit of your enabling and silence has created catastrophic consequences. But for Karen, you have stated that you were sexually harassed by Kip when you were his assistant and felt groped by him, and that he and Elena sat you down to insist that you tell them your entire sexual past with graphic details for Kip's own listening pleasure. And initially, you did outcry to Leanne and Tim Kernan, and allegedly were going to file a report. But suddenly, after the advice you received, and then getting with Kip and Elena, you magically recanted. And then, surprise, surprise, you were added to their trust fund on December 14, 2020, with a 50% Malawian kwacha payoff. That is a pretty obvious hush money, quid pro quo arrangement, Karen. Also, Karen, you publicly stated on stage in your testimony that it had been your way of life to use and seduce men in the past for your benefit. So, is that what was at play here? Is this why you would dress up a little more seductively whenever you knew that Kip was going to be attending the meetings? Which has been stated by several leaders. Basically, your flirtations with Kip have been an open secret to most. So the problem we have here is that you should be the first person raising your hand to be honest, and to demand that Kip gets the help that he needs, in order to protect all the other young women in the congregation. Proven by the fact that since 2020, after you recanted, he has gone on to groom and stalk and fantasize over many other young female ICC members, and an endless amount of unknown women. There are thousands of pictures in his computer, and hundreds of you in particular, his daughter in the faith. If you had not been bought off, you could have come forward and stopped all of this dead in its tracks. In my opinion, you owe all of these other female ICC members that he defiled and exploited a huge apology. These other women did not have as close of proximity to Kip, or were as aware of his predatory behavior. So these other women did not make this same choice that you did, and they received no payoffs, no benefits, and no $50. 0000. In essence, Karen, you knew who Kip was, and you still chose to not do the right thing. And all these other women became easy prey for Kip. while you just kept your mouth shut and capitalized on your raises and leadership positions and special treatment. One question we have is, would you not want to protect your own daughter from this type of behavior? If someone did anything like this to my daughter, I can tell you that I would end up in jail. But yet I guess there was a price tag on your honesty. 50 Malawian kwacha was all it took. And you had many other perks as well, like Kip paying for your entire wedding and even buying your wedding dress. Did Kip do that for all of the female ICC members? No, he did not. And where did he get that money? Was it from people's tithes or special contributions? Or maybe it was from his private 500K slush fund that he used to bribe, threaten, or reward people with. Maybe most disturbing, you'll see in the attached pictures that Kip even used your actual wedding photo in one of his homemade porn clips. How do you think your husband should feel about that? I guess we'll see if he has any sort of spine at all. Apparently, you are now a leaders in the RCW. Might I suggest that you and your husband and Jason find the courage to publicly do what you should have done many months or years ago, and sound the alarm and protect your congregation from Mr. Kip McKean. He is not a safe human and requires a serious intervention. And personally, I don't think that he should own a private computer ever again. He is proving to be a psychopath, and I would never trust him around any of my own family members, let alone a young woman or a child. I hope this serves as a wake-up call for you, that lying and keeping things in the dark for personal gain, and not bringing them into the light as Jesus commands, will indeed cause the destruction of countless innocent souls.